Molweni, molweni. Welcome to another Mahlema Dwela video. Thank you so much for clicking play. Please do like and subscribe to the channel. It costs you absolutely nothing, but it does wonders for me. It helps me get these videos to as many people as possible. So please do like and subscribe and comment below because I read every single comment. Guys, I know we have been having difficulty, okay? It's no secret. We've been having difficulties with uploading and posting. This is not because I'm inconsistent or I want to be inconsistent. My export format editing software just basically crashed on me, and I can't right now afford to pay for like a paid one, so I'm using a free one. So that's where we're at. But it's getting sorted. I have a plan. I figured it out, kinda, okay? But the point of this video today is I had promised to post more than once a week, and that is what we're going to be doing for the month of September. We are going to be posting twice a week, so, and see how it goes. And today, I need to quickly go get some concealer, and while we do that, dinner story time. I met the love of my life. I met the second love of my life. And if you know me, that doesn't happen. Like I used to go on a lot of dates, and I'm very picky, and my standard is here. So when I meet someone who meets the standard and exceeds it, babes. So let's talk about it while I go to Clicks and get some concealer, because I'm out of concealer, and yeah. Okay, I am back from the shops. Tell me why I bought so much. Because Galoksana, the plan was to literally just buy concealer. Check what I came back with. It's not a lot, but like, it's, how can you go to buy one thing and come back with 4? So I got blush, because I don't have blush. I believe this was around 60 rand. I got this as well because I don't have a mascara and I don't know how to put on lashes. So, and then what I actually came there to get, which is this concealer. I used to use this a lot, and then I don't know what happened to mine because I never finished it. And then I got this gloss because Sana always doing vlogs and things. Sometimes you forget that your lips are dry. Okay, so I'm gonna put this back on when I'm ready to go. This I got because everyone on TikTok was using this tone and saying it was good. I believe it's good. I just think the combination that I have for my skincare right now is all over the place. So I bonakali. You literally can't see if it's working or not. Oh, okay, let me calm down. I actually feel like I need water. I had water here. This is all. Okay. All right, let's talk about the love of my life. So Recently, I went to Johannesburg. You will see that vlog on Sunday. Okay, beautiful, great. Hey, bo. Our flight was quite late. Like our flight was leaving at, I believe, at 8:50 to get to Johannesburg at 11 o'clock. So it was quite like it was at night. I slept ekhaya licha and I went to the airport. Meet up with my bestie at the airport because I was going to a bridal shower now. While we're there, because we got there early, we are sitting at Mug and Bean, and I hadn't eaten the whole day, so went to chill at Mug and Bean, grabbed some food. Oh good. While we are there, two men walk in, ne? This scrumptious man who looks like Fuhad from Shits and Gigs. If you watch my TikToks, you know I am in love with Fuhad and James, and not because of their personalities. Yes, they're great, but because of their looks solely. If you want to know what Mahle's type is, that is my type. Both of them, in caramel and in chocolate. They are my type, Kesan. So, so we're chilling there, and then he walks in with a beard, bald head. He was wearing a trench coat. He looked like he was from like a work trip or a business trip. He looked very profesh, okay? So he walks in and he's looking gorgeous, ne? So I tell my friend, I'm like, Ippy, oh, did you see those guys that walked in? And she couldn't see them walk in because she's sitting here and I'm looking at them as they walk in. So I'm like trying to describe him. He's in the restaurant. Can you see him anywhere? He's wearing a trench coat, blah, 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 blah. Ippy's like, nah. And then eventually she's like, babes, you know the guy you were describing? He's literally sitting behind you. He's looking very serious, that is. So I get embarrassed, of course, because I don't know how much of me talking about how cute he is translated. He was there with a friend who had dreadlocks. I'm not into guys with dreadlocks. I have just never been into dreadlocks in general. So there's that. We end up boarding. So I don't know. I don't know if they're on our flight. I mean, the airport is big, or where they are going. And we had priority boarding, so we just went in the plane. When we get on the plane, Mamela, this is very important. When we get on the plane, Ipiling is sitting at A, B, C, D, E, F, sitting on F, seat F, which is on the window side. Ne? Now I'm sitting in the middle seat, and obviously there's someone get on the aisle. So when we get to the seat, I'm in front on the plane. So when we get there, the guy who's sitting on the aisle says, hello. He's like, are you sitting here? I'm like, yes. And then he gets up, and then he helps me with my bags. Guys, Zini, you know me. I am very independent and stuff. Like, I don't even let the air hostesses help me with my bags. So he helps me with my bags. I'm like, oh, that's sweet, thank you. You don't have to do that. Ngosi. And then but now I have to wait for Ipiling to pass. So Ipiling gets there, I pass Ipiling's bags, and he literally puts them there. Cool. Ipiling passes, I sit in the middle seat. Sharp. Haibo, while we're sitting, does the guy from Mug and Bean not come through? There's an air hostess next to us, and then he comes through. I don't know what he says, and then the air hostess says, what seat are you on? And then he says 18E. I will never forget Mr. 18E till the day. He says he's sitting at 18E. I'm sitting at 20E, so he's literally 2 seats ahead of me. Sharp. Ooh. You'll have to bear with me. I am easily, what's the word, distracted. This is my makeup bag. Look at how dirty this is. It's literally just powder. And then Ipiling is like, a grown-ass man, he can read his own ticket. He just came to have a second look at you because he heard you talking about him. And then we laugh, ne? Oh, you're laughing, ne? And Ipiling is just like, nah, friend, it's a sign. He's on our same flight. He's on our same flight. And he came through past his seat to come and check you out, basically. So I'm like, hey, Chomi, are you sure? Aibo, what's going on? Oh, by the way, this is my NARS foundation. New Caledonia is the thing. It's really good in terms of coverage. I'm obsessed with it in terms of that. It literally covers everything. Tell me why it's spilling from here. Can you see? Why is it spilling from here? Hey, yeah, no, this is not cool at all. Maybe it smashed into something at some point. But yeah, here it is. So I'm like, but also I'm just like, you know what? If there's ever a time to shoot my shot, let me shoot my shot. Let me shoot my shot. I'm finding this man attractive. And I remember James and Fu had said they like compliments. Guys also like compliments. So I'm then ipiling and we're like literally brainstorming. I'm like, okay, Chopin, what do I do? And then we're like, whatever he orders, send another round of that. Like, you know how they do it in American movies. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do that. And I'm like, Eish, but guys don't like girls paying for them sometimes. It feels like they're not manly. I don't know. And then she's like, no, Chopin, let's do that. Then I'm just like, but how am I gonna pay? Then I'm like, okay, maybe I just write my name, my cell phone number, and my handle. Then I give it to the air hostess to give it to him. Hey! That means he can check me on Instagram, see my pictures. If he likes what he sees, then he can WhatsApp me and reach out. So we're literally there planning. Sorry guys if I look to the side because I'm using the viewfinder as my mirror. Do you see the coverage? Okay, look at before. Okay, this is actual makeup. Don't think that's my skin, but this is my skin and this is right now. Full coverage, Kasan. Oof. I also feel like I'm kind of dark, maybe. And then while we're there, brainstorming. Let's put my name and handle on a piece of paper, and then he can reach out. So the guy next to me starts laughing. He is dying listening to this conversation. He's chuckling. He's just like, am I hearing what I'm hearing? So me being me, Kesana, jokingly, I'm like, and then why are you laughing? Ne? And then he's like, no, you guys are crazy. You guys are wild. I'm like, what do you mean you're crazy? We wild. He's like, nah, nothing. I'm just like laughing the whole way through. I'm like, okay. And then he's like, are you guys from Cape Town? Are you going, like, why are you guys going to Joburg? I tell him it's my bestie's bridal shower that I've been planning. So, yeah, basically, that's why we're going to Joburg. So I ask him, are you from Joburg or Cape Town? And then he says he's from Atlanta. Atlanta in the US of A? Sir. He's like, yeah, he's from Atlanta. I'm like, oh, okay, how was Cape Town then? Because we're boarding in Cape Town. He's like, he doesn't know. He actually didn't get off the plane. He was actually, what's the word now? It's his connecting flight. Yeah, he was passing through Cape Town. It's his connecting flight to Johannesburg. I'm like, oh, okay. He's like, he definitely wants to come. He might come back to South Africa again in December. I'm like, okay, so what are you doing in SA? So he tells me that during COVID, okay, one, he's always wanted to invest in property. And he felt like South Africa is the best country to do that. And during COVID, property was obviously cheaper. So that's what he did. He bought 2 apartments in Johannesburg and he's leasing them. So now basically he's going to check on them. I'm like, ah, cool. Look at you. And then we start talking. Haibo. This man, does he not ask me? He's like, so your friend is getting married. What about you? Is your +1? I'm like, 1, bridal showers don't have +1s. But number 2, I'm single. He's like, nah, no way. Why are you single? Then I tell him, like, I just haven't found the right person, someone compatible with me and stuff like that. And then he's like, okay. And then I ask him, why is he traveling alone to South Africa? I mean, you could travel with your person. Where's your person? He's like, he's single. Guys, you know, on a plane, on a plane, seats are very close to each other because this is a domestic flight. Well, yeah. Cape Town was his layover, but it was a domestic flight. So I'm literally looking at this man here. Well, this side actually. He was this side. Here. And Ipileng is here. And Ipileng is pretending to be asleep this whole time. She started playing a game and then she pretended to be asleep. But she was literally eavesdropping. Would you not do the same? Because I would do the same with my friend. So the conversation continues and he tells me, oh, he asks about why I'm single. So I tell him I just haven't met the right person, someone compatible, blah, blah, blah. He's like, okay, what's the right person to you? And I'm like, effort is very important to me. Just be intentional. Like your moves must move how they mean to move. Like I don't want someone who's just going with the flow. I am a very intentional person. Aibo, guys, did this thing not break? I'm like, I am a very intentional person with my moves and what I do, who I spend time with. So I want someone who actually is going to put an effort into the relationship and prioritize it, you know? And then he's like, I'd fair, I hear you. Cool. And then while we at it, why is this camera saying low battery? Goodness gracious. Camera, guys, it always does this to me. I'm even scared of continuing with the story now and then it just cuts out. Okay, let me just check and come back. Okay, it was not the battery, but the battery is also going to die soon. It was memory. I'm running out of space because as much as I haven't been posting, I have been recording a lot. Okay, so where was I in the story? Think, where was I in the story? He's buying property he bought property in 2020 because that was when it was cheaper to buy it, blah, 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 sharp. He asked me about, cool. Then he says, why am I single? I tell him why I'm single. I just haven't met the right person. He asked me what is the right person. I tell him effort is definitely number one for me. It's very important. I don't want to feel like I am in a relationship by myself. And if you're not putting in effort, especially at the beginning of the relationship, when things happen, what does that mean? I tell him emotional intelligence is very important to me because I'm a firstborn. I am there for almost everybody, sister, cousin, family, mom, my friends, and that's everybody. But being a firstborn child, you just carry that responsibility, and I'm tired of being in Bogodo. I just want to sit down and relax and someone actually take care of me for once. Like I don't want to be the only person thinking of a solution. Like I'm tired of it. So I tell him, and then he's like, no, that's fair. Like you deserve to be treated right. You deserve princess treatment. You deserve a love that's he didn't say effortless, but like you are deserving of love that caters to you. I think that's what he said. He said, you're deserving of love that caters to you. And I'm like, oh, I love that. What? And then he says, while we're at that, what are your love languages? I'm like, what did I say? I said to him, one, I've been single for so long. I don't know if I actually know them right now, and they might be different from what they used to be. But at this point, I believe in acts of service being as number one, quality time. I'm not big on words of affirmation. Like I just feel like you get compliments all the time and most of them are surface level unless you're getting them from people that actually know you well. So yeah, and then he told me his and then he says, when you say acts of service, what do you mean? And I'm like, he's like, do you mean like getting home, dishes are done, if you had a bad day, like, you know, I'm like, you know, what do you mean? And I say, yeah, that. Acts of service to me is just me knowing that you're considerate of me right now. You're thinking of me and stuff. So he's like, all right, cool, that's fair. Like when you get home, you should come back. Like I had told him what I do for work. Because like after like a long day shooting and stuff, it doesn't make sense for you to get home and still be cooking and still be doing so much and stuff like that. So I'm like, Yabona wena ubhadlile. I don't know if I'm seeing myself properly. Oh yeah, I have the small mirror here. Here we go. You like this concealer is not concealing. Or maybe I'm just blending too much. There's also that. While we at it, I asked him about his work. So, oh no, before that, he's like, okay, cool. You get this person that you want, and you're compatible with. So what does that look like? I'm like, well, settle down. He's like, he definitely wants kids. Do I want kids? This is my setting spray. There you go. Scarlet Hill. I think that's Mr. Price or something. He's like, he wants a family. He is one of 6 kids. Do I have any like aspirations of having a family? And I said yes. But what is very important to me is not necessarily having a family, but who am I having my family with is more important to me. I tell him that's definitely more important to me than actually having a family in its own. And I told him, which I think I've said here on the channel as well, is I'm very much so on the belief that if I have children, I will be happy and fulfilled. But if I don't have kids, I will also still be happy and fulfilled. I don't think my happiness for me looks like having a child. It doesn't have to be like that. So that's just how I feel. So we spoke about that, and then he's like, no, that's understandable, that's fair, but he definitely wants to leave like, you know, a legacy behind. He doesn't just want to have kids for the sake of having kids. He wants someone to leave his property to and all of that stuff, and like, you know, all his hard work. He wants someone to start on a good note. I'm like, we have a kalaputi, and you make sense. Okay, while we're talking about that, we also talk about what he does. Oh, he says, okay, you meet this person, blah, 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 blah. And now, the first thing I had said was, what's very important to me is my faith. Blush. I don't know how this blush is going to look. I told him that my faith is very important to me. I don't think the camera is doing me justice because ingati a content yenzayo. Do you guys see it? I see a little bit of it. Okay, maybe I need to go into the bathroom so I can see this properly because ngoko sana ayibona con. Or maybe I chose a very like, this looks very pigmented, or maybe it's not supposed to be pigmented, or I'm using the wrong brush. I don't know, but andibone sana. Oh, I see it now. It's the shade. It's the shade. It's quite visible. Yeah, I see it now. Okay, cool. So, guys, I keep on getting distracted. I know I'm very bad at multitasking. This is my contour. I hardly put on contour, but yeah, since today we are in front of camera, let's just do it. I have no idea where my other brushes are. that's enough. So we end up getting to, guys, I'm so distracted. I can't do this. I don't know how other people do it, but this is why quite hard for me. Oh. We start talking. And then okay, we talk about what he's looking for. He tells me he's looking for someone who's very sound-minded. That's very important to him. Someone who's emotional and logical at the same time. Someone who's good with his finances. These are the things he's telling me, and I'm like, okay, guys. Then at this point, who the hell is 18E? Out of mind, Kasana. At this point, he is out of mind. I don't even know who that is at this point. Me and my neighbor of a guy, we're just chatting through. He tells me he's looking for someone who's very sound-minded, someone who is good with his finances. He said someone who is kind. He said, I want someone who does things for me because they actually care for me, not because it's like a required in the relationship. He also said something that I always find tricky, and a friend of mine had told me this, that they don't want to date someone who was not raised by their mom and dad. And I always felt like that's unfair, but at the same time I understood her reasonings. So he said something not to that, but like someone who has a good relationship with his family is important to him because he's very close with his, and also how you handle conflict with people outside of family is important. But if you can't mend things with your family here is also something that's kind of telling to him. And sometimes it's out of your control, but he wants someone who's able to make amends, forgive, move past things. And if you can do that with family, then yeah, you're his type of person. So it was great talking to him. And then I'm like, all right, cool. After that, he tells me about his family, how many siblings he has. He is the fifth born of 6 kids. And then I'm like, all right, cool. And then he's like, all right, cool. So now, this is where he got me shame. I won't lie. Then he says, all right, cool. So you've met your person. We're good. What are the next steps? Then we talk about family. Then he's like, yeah, but like, then what happens next? I'm like, I want to settle down. Like, I want to get married. I want to settle down. And then he's like, you're closer, right? And I say, yes. And then he's like, so how does that work in your culture? I'm like, well, like most South African tribes and culture and like languages, I guess. Tribes, I think is the right word. We all practice lobola. Even, Indian South Africans, dowry and stuff like that. So he's like, cool, how does lobola work? So I tell him how lobola works and negotiations. And he asks very interesting questions where he's like, so where does that money go? And I told him most of it goes to the parents. It's a gift to say thank you for raising such an amazing child. And most of it goes to the wedding because, yeah. So he's like, all right, cool. What type of wedding do you want? I tell him. He tells me he wants a beach wedding. He really likes the beach. So he thinks he would absolutely love a beach wedding. I'm like, a beach wedding is nice, but it has to be in a private. Are we not planning our wedding? Are we not planning our wedding at this point? I'm like, it would have to be at a private beach. He's like, yeah. It's like, I don't want. This is me. I don't want people strangers walking past taking pictures and stuff. He's like, yeah, that's fair. I'm like, I like a vineyard type of vibe. I was like, yeah, that sounds cool. So we're talking about our wedding now. We start planning our wedding. So he's like, okay, wait, before we get there, he asks more questions about lobola. So I'm trying to be I'm not as knowledgeable, but my sister did just get married. So I tell him how that process works. He's like, okay, cool. So he says to me, so how much is your lobola gonna be? So I tell him, babes, you need to nothing less than 150K. So he's like, all right, cool. How much is that in dollars? So I still have my converter app since I was in Australia. So we convert. He's like, oh, not bad. That's not bad. Yeah, that's not bad. That's fair. And I'm like, why are you shocked? He's like, it always seems like a lobola is like a scam to get money from the guys. At least that's most of their perceptions in like the Western, in the Americas. So he was surprised that it's not to bankrupt you. I'm like, yeah, that's not the point. And then I even said to him, and also we need to have, this is me using we need to have money outside of the wedding, outside of the lobola and everything, because I would want my person to be saving up for lobola, and that comes from him. It's not an us thing. He needs to save up for it, and then I could be saving up for our life after marriage. So, and then he's like, okay, so how long would someone have to save up for lobola? I'm like, I'm not moving in with anyone, blah 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 blah, I'm a Christian. And then he's like, oh, really? I'm like, yes. He's like, he's a Christian. And I'm like, okay. And then I ask him what church he goes to. So, Msabata is Xhosa, a Seventh-day Adventist, I don't know, but Msabata. Those people who go to church on a Saturday, not on a Sunday, because Sunday to them, God rested, so they rest. But now, he said, this is where things get interesting. He says, I'm a Seventh-day, have you heard of them? I'm like, no. And then he's like, something SDF. And I remembered there's a Mormon cult in America. I don't know what it's called, but it is SFDS Nayo in the middle. So me, I literally, when he said that, I jumped out and I'm like, isn't that a cult? Joe, guys, my mood changed. Yes, Anna, my mood just changed because I was like, surely not. I can't have gotten out of a cult and then I meet this nice guy and he's in a cult in America. Surely not, Lord. You must be playing games at this point. Like, what is going on? And then he jumped. He also is like taken aback. He's like, no, it's not a cult. And then he tells me, you're thinking of the what. It's not that. It's this. So still, I'm not settled. Ne? And we're not going backwards, guys. So I ask him, do you believe in God? Or like, what do you guys believe in? He's like, yeah, we believe in God as the creator of heaven and earth. I'm like, okay, cool. And I'm like, do you believe in the Bible? He's like, yes. And we believe in the Bible. So he starts like laughing a little bit. And I'm like, what's your favorite Bible verse? Because we need to make sure. And then it's Romans 8. And I'm like, what does it say? Romans 8, I think he said 14. I'm like, what does it say? And then he says it. And I don't remember what it says, but I finished it for him. So he says it and then we finished it together like in unison. It's quite a... Romans what, Nangosiam? I forgot it now. So we finish it together. Babes, I'm not done. Even though you know the Bible, I still need to know more information. Then I said, do you believe in Jesus? He says, yes. I'm going to say, is Jesus a prophet or is Jesus the Son of God? And then he died. He laughed. He's like, Jesus is the Son of God. And then he's like, in my line of work, there's no way you don't have faith. You have to believe in God. I'm like, oh, your line of work, what do you do? He's in the military. I'm gonna be a military wife. Staying at base. I'm gonna be a base wife. Oh, guys. So I'm like, oh, okay, cool. When did you enlist? He says he enlisted in 2016, just after college. I finished university around there as well. How old are you actually? Because how old were you when you enlisted? He's 32 now. I'm like, oh, okay. 32. It's almost 12 o'clock. I need to leave. It's 11:45. I need to leave at 12 or just 12:15. And then I'm like, okay. And then he's like, ah, cool. Now we married. I've paid lobola and we get like, we're good. And then he says, so where do you want to go on a honeymoon, because to him he's really not about materialistic things, buying materialistic things. He's more about making memories. So he really likes to travel as much as he can when he has a break from work. I'm like, cool. So I tell him I really want to go to South Korea. Guys, this is happening on a plane. We are still on the plane, okay, going to Johannesburg. Ipileng is pretending to be asleep because she's not sleeping. Guys, I don't think I contoured right. Is this how you contour? I think Nandivele ndenze amatuma sana. Where is it? I wiped it off now. Let's just do this and blend. So he's like, I tell him I want to go to South Korea, but I'm not sure if that's the place where I would go for my honeymoon. I really, really like South Korea though. He's like, cool. I don't even know what this is. Revolutionary highlight. It's a highlight. I don't know from which brand, to be honest. So we talk about it, and then he's like, you put highlight on top of blush, right? Hey. I think. I sana le contour ngathi zindevu. So he says he really wants to go to Japan. Okay, a lot of people want to go to Japan. I get it. It's full of culture. That's how I feel about Korea as well. So he really wants to go to Japan, blah 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 blah, and I'm like, cool. And then where else did I say I want to go? He told me also after 2 weeks of being in Johannesburg, he's also going to Kenya. One of his sisters went to Kenya and said it was amazing, so he definitely is gonna visit Kenya. I'm like, that's amazing. And then while we're there, he's like, China would be a great place for him to visit, but he can't right now. I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, I'm in the army, so they're waiting for obviously the American elections to come up. They don't know like their position with China, so he currently can't go to China. I'm like, okay. I did not know that. He can't go to China, he can't go to Mexico. He's also not on social media because of his job. So I actually asked him, what do you do in the military? So he tells me, so he flies jets. You see those jets in Top Gun where they go to war, they're like shoo, shoo, and then they shoot missiles into war zone. That's what he does. He's been doing that since 2016. That is wild. So he's like, he's a pilot. So he's a pilot. I'm like, Saka itempile, Saka itempile, aibo, Saka itempile gama so does that make me materialistic? But I like that he's a pilot. Like he has an actual that type of job. Is it dangerous? Yes. Am I scared for his life? Absolutely. But he's a pilot. He drives those jets like Tom Cruise in Top Gun. That's literally what he does. So I started asking him like questions like, how often do you have free time? He's like, they haven't deployed. He hasn't deployed in a minute because they stopped going to Afghanistan. And he's like, there's no way he can't believe in God, and like he's seen so much that his faith keeps him together. And I was like, I love that for us. I do. I love it for us. And yeah, Gesana. What else did we talk about? I'm trying to think of other things we spoke about during that 2-hour flight. I don't think I'm missing anything. Yeah, and then he asked for my number. I gave him my number. I was just like joking around and laughing. Guys, the way it was so intimate, like he was looking at me like this and I was looking at him like we're like this, close to each other. Our shoulders are touching already, we're on the plane. His hand rest is this side on me and I'm like, he was wearing a hoodie. So all I could see, I don't know what his hair looks like. I still don't know. All I could see was just face in front of me. And face looked good in front of me. He didn't have a beard. He didn't look like 18E, but he looked good. He looked good. Did I mention he says he's from Atlanta? He's from Atlanta. Then I asked him, I think the other conversation we had was about him and relationships and long distance relationships. Because I said to him, like, whatever relationship you have, whether it's with an American girl, it's going to be long distance because you live on base. You are deploying, like, now, like, so whatever relationship you have, he's like, yeah, but he still wants to settle down. He still wants to find someone who's loyal. And there's a lot of guys who are married in the military that he wants that. He wants someone to come home to. He wants something to motivate him to, like, you know, persevere when shit gets hard and stuff like that. So I was like, cute. And then he started telling me about his plan in the military. He's like, obviously I don't want to be there for the rest of my life. I have a plan. He's just waiting for 2 more promotions, then he doesn't have to deploy. I don't know what he's gonna be, a sergeant, couple, I don't know, but he was just explaining me his plan. He's like, he wants to be in the military for 20 years and now he's been there for a while, so he needs 2 promotions where he's not going to be deploying anymore, but you know, at another level. So he's like, he's hoping to get that first promotion this year, and then the other one is going to take him some time, maybe years, to get to. So I'm like, this man is focused. He literally like laid out his plan for his career to me, and I was like, indoda in a vision, a man with a vision. Where there's no vision, the Bible says. Anyway, so I'm already impressed with this man, okay? It was so organic. It was not intentional. I wasn't like, I had my eyes on someone else. He did not even entertain that. He didn't even ask me anything about this guy. He wasn't even like, you just saw this man, why are you trying to reach out? Like, he didn't even say anything about him. He just said, you guys are wild, blah blah blah, where you going? That was it. He was like, I'm here now. I am here now. So we end up we exchange numbers, getting off the plane. He takes our bags for us. Guys, gentlemen, like, guys think we need so much. Just be thoughtful. Just make life easy for me. Think like, and I just felt like with him, I wouldn't have to be Mbokodo at all. Like, I would just be a baby. I would just be a girl. Okay, so he takes off our luggage for us. He helps us and stuff. So he leaves before we get off, I think. And he just had like a sports bag with him. So if he wants to go to the bathroom, we quickly go to the bathroom. After we get back from the bathroom, I don't see him anywhere. So while we're on the road, I text him quickly and I'm like, hey, you know what I wanted to do? When I saved my number, I saved it as Mahle, and then he gave me his number, actually. Yeah, he gave me his number, and then I went on WhatsApp and then I said, hey, it's Mahle, the cute girl from the plane. And then I sent it. I wanted to say, this is what I wanted to say, hey, it's Mahle, your future wife. If he had given, 2 things, that's what I wanted to say, but if he had given me his, what do you call this, phone, I would have saved it, Mahle, future wife. I would have, I promise you. But I texted him, I said, hey, second text now, after I said, hi, it's Mahle, you're like cute girl from the plane. That was on the plane when I texted him that. When we get in the car going to our accommodation, I text him like, hey, I didn't see you get out. I hope all your bags are in order, because I'm thinking he's traveling from far. Hope all your bags are good, you have everything that you need. And then he replies, yes, I actually like traveling light. I only have that sports bag I was with, that I had. And I'm like, such a military thing, travel light, just one sports bag. You're going to be in South Africa for 2 weeks and in Kenya for another week, sir. Anyway, so I'm like, it was nice chatting to you. And he's like, it was really nice chatting to you. Very sweet. You're very nice. Keep smiling. And I was like, oh, cute. So that's Friday. Saturday, quiet. Saturday morning, nothing. How I planned the bridal shower, everything. Hey, bo, this man knew I'm planning this bridal shower. He doesn't say anything. This whole day, maybe at like 11, my cousin calls me. So I tell her what happened. She's like, and guys, I won't lie, I was expecting him to reach out. Like, I had already told him that I'm leaving Johannesburg on Monday. So this is Saturday. Like, and we, like, why aren't you saying anything? I'm so confused. So I'm just like, what? Why? Like, no hug, morning, nothing, midday. Now it's at 11 p.m. So my cousin says, my battery died as I was talking. So my cousin says, why don't you text him? I need to finish the story. I feel like now my makeup looks a little bit clearer. You can actually see what I did. Me too. Okay, so my cousin says, and why is it skew? I'm literally. Yo! Hi, Sana, content creation just for indabas. Okay. Okay, so my cousin says to me, why don't you reach out to him? Okay. And I'm there, I'm like, but why isn't he reaching out to me? But she's like, no, maybe he's busy. Like, it's his first day in South Africa, first day in Johannesburg. Maybe reach out. Sharp. I reach out and I said, hey, hey, hope your day was well. What did I say? I'm saying for Chan. Sorry. Oh, I was looking for what I said to him. Okay, so I said, hey, this is me. How do I hide his name? Anyway, I say, this is our chat. I say, hey, I'm free tomorrow if you'd like to hang out. I'm going to be back in Cape Town Monday morning. Let me know before I make other plans. This is me Saturday at 9:58. So he responds at 11:48. Imagine. 2 hours later, he says, hey there. Hey there? What's hey there? Hey there? Hey there? Are you AI? Anyway, hey there, how's your day going? How's your day today? You should have asked me that earlier when I was busy planning the bridal shower, or like wish me a hope luck. Anyway, dang, he says, dang, I wish I had known earlier before I committed to other stuff. Tomorrow my day is already planned out, but I will try to see you at least before you go back. I'll keep you posted. That was Saturday. I just did this and I said, all good. Sunday, nothing. He said nothing. Guys, I was like a child, keep on checking my phone. I kept on checking my phone. Nothing. Also, Saturday, if I hadn't said anything, he was not going to say anything. So now it felt like I had just asked him on a date. So Sunday, he says nothing. I was actually very upset on Sunday because I was like, Kandiba, why did you make me meet such an awesome person that I genuinely am attracted to, I'm inspired by, for them not to follow through? because this is not following through. When we talked about me saying I want someone who puts in effort, these are the things I was talking about. He even said like you know, he's a man, he's a hunter, obviously he should put in effort, like he who finds a wife, so he believes in the finding. EP finding Saturday, EP finding Sunday. I was so upset. I was disappointed, very disappointed on Sunday, but I was very upset, I think maybe with God, because I'm like, what was the point, my guy, of sending me such a nice person and then them not being consistent? Like, to me, it's worse, because you can believe something in your head, but when you profess it with your mouth, that's something else. But then when what's in your head and what you're saying with your mouth and your actions don't align, that's a big red flag. Like, that's a big thing. Because for me, I just felt like then that whole conversation was so insincere. Maybe he was saying what I just wanted to hear. Alternatively, I spoke to Tando, Pastor T. If you followed her, Pastor T, on Instagram, she's my friend. So I spoke to her about it, and she was like, you know what? The other thing is, we do this to men all the time. We meet a guy and things make sense. He's a nice person, we align, but you don't feel like they're your person. Like, they're not your forever person. You just find them as good people, level-headed and whatnot. And maybe that's what he found with me. He didn't find, you know, his person. Another thing Tando said was, maybe he's in South Africa. Maybe there's a girl he's been talking to before he came here, that he wanted to spend time with, and, you know, through social media, and that's where his attention is. It's also possible. Do you understand? So I was very gutted. I was more upset with, like, what was the point of all of that? Like, why did I have to meet someone nice? Why did we have to gel? Why was the chemistry there? Like, why were we so compatible? What was the point of sending him to me when it's just nothing? Nothing's coming out of it. What was the point? I could have shot my shot on 18E. I could have. And now we'll never know. We will never know. So that is the second love of my life, because I truly, it's very easy it's hard for me to find someone like that. Someone who compliments me that well. Someone who I'm attracted to how they think, and their emotional intelligence, and someone who's driven and focused and loves the Lord. So, and I think I assume, especially ladies who work on themselves in their singleness, we assume that just because we work on ourselves in our singleness, we know who we are, we think we're ready for these people, that whoever we meet that ticks our box, automatically they're going to find me as their person, because I've done the work. So why would they not reach out? But doesn't work like that. You could have done all the work on yourself and developing and being ready as much as you can, and meet someone and you find them to fit everything that you want, but you don't fit everything that they want, and you will never know why it never went through. It's the same thing with you. Like, guys meet you meet all their boxes and everything that they want, but to you there's something that just doesn't click, or something that's not it. And I feel like maybe that's what happened here. Am I disappointed now? Not really, because I also know that there's been times where I've been in my bed feeling very alone and be like, Lord, all I need is just someone to talk to, or someone to just listen to. I just want a date, someone who's just gonna make me laugh. There are days where I've prayed those prayers, and that's exactly what I got on the plane. I got someone who made me laugh, someone who cheered me up, someone who made me hopeful about, you know, finding someone again, because I had already just imagined that for myself, to be honest. So it was really good. So I prayed and I was like, thank you for that encounter. Thank you for reminding me that there's how many million people in the world, and it doesn't matter where the person is located. God will make a plan. God will make a way for you to meet your person. It doesn't matter whether they're across the ocean, whether they're next door, whether you've never met them yet. If someone's going to introduce you to them in 5 years' time, when the right time, when the right time comes, the Lord will make it work. God will make sure you encounter that person. So I think that was what I got from the whole gist. But yeah, it takes a lot for me to even get to that point of being vulnerable with the person to that extent, and for me to like someone to that extent, it takes a lot. So I assume whoever I like will like me back. Ma'am, it does not work like that, Kesanas. But yeah, let me get going, because I was supposed to meet my friend at 1, and she just asked me, I'm only seeing her text now saying, can we do 12? And it's 5 + 12 now, so I only just saw that message. So let's get going, guys. I am I'm a producer by profession, ne? It always just freaks me out sometimes, the number of people, like people's numbers that I have on my phone. Like, someone just asked on one of our producers group, does anyone have Nomza Mombata's number and McG's? And people just sent them. People just like, oh, here's Nomzamo's, here's McG's. And that group is for contact, like for work purposes. If there's an ad you want to shoot with them, or you like whatever, contracts and whatnot. But the amount of celebrity contacts that I have on my phone, some they don't even know my name, and some I'll never work with. But it's just interesting. Some of like Nomzamos and McG just came through now. I digress. Digest is to eat. Digress. I digress. Yeah, Kebetuna, that is the end of the story with the love of my life number 2. I'm hoping to not meet another love of my life. Like the first one got married now, and I had to let it go. Now I'm gonna let this one go. I've let it go. It's done. But I'm hopeful that I will meet someone soon. Let me put on my wig and get going. I hope you enjoyed the story time, because it's quite a recent one. I have so many stories, guys, from Sydney days to before Pretoria days. There's a lot. I almost got kidnapped once. There's a lot of stories to tell. So maybe I'll do story times twice a month, and then like a fun video in between. I'll figure it out. But the point is, we're gonna post twice a week starting today, the whole of September, and see how it goes. And hopefully I can sustain that. That would be amazing. And maybe we can do Vlogmas. Hey content creator Mahle. All right, guys, I will see you guys on Sunday. Zeniti abendibuza nam bendilab. Bye.